if somebody didn't know at all, and then they'd be like, it's cool, I'm just eating steak. He knows, and he's choosing the bliss. It's not ignorance. It's understanding the whole scope of knowledge and being like, no, I just choose this. Honey, you're beautiful.
Okay. Oh my God. Last time we did this was like, what, 3 years ago?
Dang. I miss you, man.
I know, you're so far. So far, you're so near yet so far away.
We're trying new tech, everyone.
Yeah, we're always experimenting. Always on the cutting edge. What are you sipping on there, EJ?
Well, I have I'm in the friendly confines, man. I'm at home, so I have some Chianti Classico in one hand.
Okay.
And because I'm not on the switcher in the studio, my right hand is free for so many activities.
Right. What are you thinking?
Well, right now I have tequila soda.
Oh my God.
But the world is my opportunity.
Okay, I want to get pretty weird, so I'm going to need you to take a few big sips of that. I got to tell you a story to start this pod. So first of all, welcome everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy pod day. We're not in the studio today. We're at home. No, I'm in the office. You're at home. We're recording virtually 45 minutes apart. And we're trying something new. Not that this is the new thing. Why are we doing this? Oh, because office occupation, something like that.
Office is occupied. The studio's occupied.
Studio's occupied.
Nick's making deals.
Yeah, Nick's making deals. So, dude, I go to AM PM today, right? And I go pick up this 19 Crimes wine.
Snoop Dogg's?
Is it Snoop's?
I think it's Snoop Dogg's.
Yeah, I was like, okay, 19 Crimes, $19.99, sold. You know, it just resonated. I was like, perfect. I like that. And I go up to the register, and I don't know what your experience is with this lately, with getting ID'd. How often do you get ID'd?
More than I'd like. Still have that boyish charm.
This is such a funny thing that people experience. It's such a grass is greener situation. People don't want to get ID'd when they're getting ID'd, and then they stop getting an ID'd, and they're like, why aren't you IDing me? Okay. So today, first of all, I've decided I'm 40, which I'll get to in a second. She doesn't ID me, but she looks at me really closely, and she calls me honey. And she's like really looking at me, and I just got, the beard trim and everything. So I'm like, I'm going to get IDs. Like I look like I'm like 18 right now.
I see some salt and pepper in that beard.
Yeah. So she doesn't ID me. She's just like, you're good. And I'm like, okay, cool. No worries. Cause fuck you. I'm 40. I don't need to be ID'd. Who wants to be ID'd? And I decided recently, as you get closer to a pinnacle, a new age, you have to attack that age. You don't wait for that age to come to you. You attack it. I choose when I'm 40.
Okay, so I don't
have to wait till my birthday to become 40. I'm 40 now.
Yeah, you technically turn 40 in a month and a half or so.
2 months. Yeah, May. Yeah. I decided this like 2 months ago, though.
Okay, so how do you attack this age, this milestone in life?
Yeah, I started the year, I was like, I'm 40.
Okay, so
like 5 months early, I was just like, you know what? You're turning 40 this year. I'm already 40.
You know what I've seen is some people say that they're about to get in the best shape of their lives by 40.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'm in a text thread with you about fitness.
What are you, 42 now? You're trying to get in the best shape of 42. I did hit the gym this weekend. I had a good one. Lovely. I'm still recovering. I worked out so hard, I am on an interesting kick though, which I think we're gonna get to, with the Claude therapy session.
Lovely.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. But anyway, my alpha is attack it. When you don't, if you don't, actually, I can't even say this is not even one of those things that I've never had a challenge with aging. You know, some people have like, I don't know how you feel. I feel like I don't know. Like, what is your relationship with aging? I feel like some people don't like it.
I'll tell
Most
you what,
people don't
I've had
like
some
it.
moments where I didn't like it, but overall, I'm good. I think I was at a bachelor party a couple of years ago in like Scottsdale. You know that like Arizona area where there's like just like young little things everywhere. And I remember being like, I don't know, 37 years old or something, and just like doing
were
what I
you
would
doing
normally
there?
do in a bar environment. And I remember just being like, oh, you guys aren't into me.
Oh my God. Wait, bro, this is sick. This Riverside shit is sick. Like, I can show the chats.
Show the chats.
Look at, I just did one.
Well, I saw
Marty.
Marty, yeah, but I'm also on the YouTube chat here on my phone in my left
And I
hand.
guess this one, bonjour, MFers. This one in Riverside synthesizes from X and YouTube, and hopefully we can go live to Discord and it all just funnels in.
Dude, our technology is really upgrading. I'd like
Look
to just
at what
remind
Hookham said
everybody
about our technology. We have video tonight. What an upgrade.
Yeah, I'm free, fully free of my right hand. What do I do? What do I do?
And I can show any link. We can have audio. We can have video. Actually, I don't know. I can't promise the audio. I assume audio would work.
Oh,
This is our first time.
Well, at any given moment.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, my thing is like, never had a problem with aging. I think life gets better. That's my belief. It's just a belief. Always had it. Always developed it. Cultivated at a young age. I was like, life gets better. And as I focused on that, it consistently has been true. Now, I'm not saying that life hasn't had moments of challenge, and that I'm not saying there hasn't been turbulence. And one of the things about life as time goes on is it gets more complex.
It does.
Way more complex. Like the things that you thought about in your 20s, like your 30s are very, very, very different. But there's still a baseline truth that I hold, which is that it gets better.
I agree with you. But I'd also add this as like a nuance to it, that like the age doesn't actually change. Like going from 38 to 39 to 40, even though 40 is like this like round number milestone, nothing changes. It was for me having Josie, having the child, it was like that immediately changed everything. And that was when I got older. It was like I could have not had a kid. I could have not had a kid, been 35 or 42 and been the exact same. But then having the kid at no matter what age, it's like now I've turned a page in life that's like now I'm older.
Yeah, dude, I literally couldn't agree more. I feel like getting engaged didn't do anything. Getting married did a little bit of something. Having a baby changed everything. It was like, I always tell people, it's like I went through the wardrobe. I'm in Narnia. There's no way back. I'm in a new world. It's a completely separate chapter. It's red pill, blue pill. Your life will never be the same. Your entire brain is reconstructed. Your being is reconstructed. Your spirit is reconstructed. Everything is different post-child. I'm sure there's some guy out there being like, what are you talking about, bro? You just had a baby. Like, chill the fuck out. But for me,
I don't think anybody's like that.
No?
I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I guess I'm not surprised. It's just what it is what it is. We maybe attracted it, but like a lot of the folks in our Discord are of a certain age or of a certain stage in life. And I feel like a lot of camaraderie now amongst fathers, or like newish fathers, or older ones too. And I just feel like it's kind of cool, this community we have. I'm actually blown away. It's like, it's so cool, this community.
Dude, that's such a good point, because you remember we were in the minority of our community. None of us had kids.
Yeah.
And they were all, our general community age was, the median age was older than us, maybe by like 3 years, let's just say. And I feel like we're catching up in our maturity, you know, and our lifestyle. We're like, we have, me and you, have the kids now, and like it creates more of that bond that I think we didn't have before. But I don't know where you wanted to start. Do you want to start with that community topic and my little five?
I would love that.
Okay. Well, what you want to tee it up while I pull up something, just kind of like what you had in your mind.
Well, hold on. I think I don't know how. I'm sorry. I actually don't know how deep we want to touch on what was going on our Discord. I don't know if that's.
Oh yeah, we don't need to touch on that specifically. I think it's more just friendship, community, life changes, stress. I mean, I have a specific thing to share around my stress and what helped me with something recently. So that would be it. Just any like general thing while I just like can't multitask.
Okay, yeah, you look that up. I think the way that I preface this is that at any given time, anyone in our community, I think, feels the safety to be able to share whatever they're feeling, good, bad, or whatever. And I think that's rare. I think if it's good, people will support you. I think if it's bad, people will support you. And I think I've been very proud of the way that I've seen our community rally around somebody who shared something that was like, a hard time in their lives. And I think that touched me deeply. And, I think, whatever you're feeling, I've noticed you're not alone. And I think it's just cool. I think it's cool that we can share.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it relates to this idea of everything we're talking about. It all sort of like integrates, getting older, becoming a parent, responsibilities at home, supporting as a man. Most of the people listening are 90% male.
Right.
Often the breadwinner or a key contributor financially. Economy, existentials, macro concerns, world at war. Professor Jang saying everyone's going to die. There's a lot of shit, man. There's a lot of shit.
So much shit.
I had a moment in the recently where I started, I think the Iran war like sparked a lot of it for me. And I remember when the one time we talked about it, I remember like after the episode, I didn't feel great. It didn't feel great. It was like not the one where you and I were like kind of disagreeing on the Pahlavi thing. It was the one after that where it was like,
by the way, I did love how we were able to disagree on that and get kind of emotional, but then also be like totally fine. I think that was also instrumental, and I think that was like illustrative of what our Discord is capable of too. Like our whole community is able to like get heated, but also we're still cool, and I think that's what you're alluding to, but there's more than just that convo.
Yeah, because you want to be friends before you are debating somebody to death about who's right. I mean, that's just stupid. But yeah, I think it was the one where like the war had really started and there were all these things that I had absorbed for like 5 days since the war started. It's so much that I was just like curious about, but also wanted to say, and it all just kind of came out confusing, which I'm hard. I think I'm hard on myself in that way where like, I think that a skill that I've generally developed is like when I try to explain something, it's done in a clear, coherent, cogent, articulate way.
Yeah, this is like your superpower. You're just the communicator.
Yeah. I mean, thanks. Like I've worked really hard at that. And so like when it just came out in a way where it wasn't that, I think I was like, but this was so important to me. And I felt like I just failed. Like I didn't get a chance to do it. And then I kept going deeper into what was going on. And then everyone's talking about this guy who's predicting the end of the world. And I'm like, oh my God, now this guy's going on Tucker next week and he's getting all this press. And I'm pretty like, I don't like black pills. I'm like, you got to like, yes, you got to keep your wits about you and like be aware of what's going on in the world, not be naive, but like you also have a choice, like what you put out into the world. And so anyway, I think the stress started stacking up, and obviously pushing hard at work, pushing, making everyone happy at home. And I had a moment similar to, what people often feel in our community. And so I went to, I noticed that I wasn't taking the personal time anymore to like process it. And so I had my first ever like AI therapy session.
Well, talk to me about what that means or what that looks like. I mean, so you're feeling a type of way, and you're using your clanker as your therapist.
Yeah. So like I know that data shows like that's the most common usage of AI is like number one is like companion therapy. Number two is like writing, editing, assistant. Number three is like coding. So this is not novel to anyone else out there. This was novel to me. I have never opened up to an AI like in that way, like ever. And I was just like, hey, but I was like super logical about it. Like, hey, help me process what is the root cause of my stress. Like that was my conversation. And it came up with a framework. And that's what I just wanted to share because I thought it was really interesting.
Before you get into that, can I ask like how you were feeling?
Yeah. Stacking, which I have said before in our community and here before, where like it's a very dangerous thing. You don't ever want to start stacking. Like,
so what does that mean?
Stacking means that you start to place disconnected stressors on top of each other as if they're interwoven and interdependent. And all of a sudden you find yourself feeling like it's difficult to maneuver and get out. And you feel the weight and the pressure of multiple things simultaneously. And one stressor is enough for most people. Moving, one of the biggest stressors in life.
That's
but
awful.
imagine like moving, relationship problems, work. What do I do about the P&L? What do I do about this friend situation? And you just start stacking. And that's really, really bad. It's really, really bad to do that. It's unhealthy.
Okay, so when you approached your robot, I'm imagining you're using Claude.
Yeah.
Everyone's using Claude.
I pulled a Nick. I went like pinkies up, Opus 1,
only Opus
4.6, extended thinking, like give me your full brain power. Okay. And I was like, okay, like I'm a man. I want a resolution. I want a solution.
And what was the robot's sort of approach to your prompt?
Well, the first thing right away, I was like, first, let's start with what's the right framework here. And I was like, I think the 5 whys would be interesting for you.
What does that mean? Like, the 5 whys?
I didn't know either. I was like, what's the 5 whys? It was like, well, it's a way to audit your stress. It's a structured process for cutting through surface level stress to find the one root cause that, when resolved, cascades relief across your entire life. The core insight is that most stress is downstream of one of 3 roots. This is really important. A threat to safety, identity, or agency. The surface trigger is almost never the real problem.
Interesting.
It's never the problem,
Okay, so can I pause you there? And can I maybe ask a question? Or can we like chew it as we go?
Chew as you go, baby.
Okay. Because
I just wish I had a steak to go with this wine, because then it would really
this AM PM delicious wine you have. Yeah, when you say that, I think like I've mentioned on the pod maybe like a year ago or many years ago, I was like, I've identified that like 90% of people's problems are actually just financial problems. And I'm wondering if that fits in with the 5 whys. Like, is a financial problem, like, let's just assume that I'm right about that. I might not be, but let's assume that I am. Is that using Claude's framework just like a threat to security? Maybe.
Maybe, but identity and and agency are quite different.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, because we're going to get into it, like mine was not a money thing.
Yeah.
It was
but I have noticed that it often is. Like it might not be for yours.
It is for people. You're definitely right. Well, I think what you're hitting at is like, of those three, your security and safety is the one that's going to really hit you the hardest.
Well, I think that the money thing actually
out the most.
I think the money thing actually touches the identity part as well. You know, it's kind of like how you how you value yourself relative to your peers, for instance. I think there's just like other tendrils that exist.
That's true.
Within the money thing, but I don't want to focus on that. I want to actually go into what you're saying. It's the 5 whys or the 3 components more.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's I thought it was a helpful framework. That's the only reason I'm sharing it, and also to just have a moment of vulnerability. I think people often think like they're the only one stressed and the only one with those problems, and they're the only one stacking, and it is a human phenomenon, and in particular, I think men experience the responsibility and the weight of the world in a different way. So the first step, there's I constructed this framework, right? So I'm not telling you to use this framework. I'm telling you I personalized a framework with Claude that I felt made most sense to me. Step 1, dump everything. Every stressor, no filter, no judging, no organizing, stream of consciousness. Dump everything. Smart.
Oh, like brain dump everything. I thought you meant remove everything.
Dump. No. Literally dump all of your stresses and thoughts out. The goal is volume and honesty. Step 2 is to cluster them into themes. So don't force the categories. Look for what naturally belongs together. Typically a few things that'll be relationship oriented, money oriented, as you just said, health oriented, identity, existential. You'll end up with some clusters like 5 to 8, right? Then I created a framework to rate them. You're going to like this. I tried to make it quantitative. I love taking something that you're ruminating or stressing about and making it quantitative and logical. I think it's a great way to cut through the noise. And so I took each cluster, health, wealth, relationships, and I rated it on 3 dimensions, 1 to 10. Frequency, how long does this cluster occupy my mind? Intensity, when I experience it, how hard does it hit me? And control, how powerless do I feel? 1 is like, I fully control it. 10 is like out of my hands. And my goal is to then multiply, get a composite score of frequency, intensity, and control, and rank them. And then, is that clear?
Frequency, intensity, and control. Yep.
Yeah. So imagine I gave health a 5, 7, 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I give each one of these clusters a score. Then I'm looking at all my clusters, and I take the number 1 cluster and I ask, why does this stress me? And I go 5 levels deep.
What are the levels?
Why?
Oh, it's the 5 whys.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, why? Why does let's just use what you've been pushing me about, lack of showing up to the fitness thread. Why does, because no, it is one of my stresses though. It is.
Is it?
So let's be real. Yeah,
okay.
Of course it is.
As a friend, I'm just teasing, you know that, but let's use
but of course it is. No, this is real. Why am I not making time for myself? Why am I not taking care of myself and showing up? And I'm a strong guy. Why don't I fucking invest in that strength and get stronger and feel better? Okay. Answer number 1. I don't have time. Okay. Why? And the benefit of doing it with Claude is like, doesn't fuck around, because I also have a base system prompt that is like, don't fuck around. Don't sycophant. Don't be my friend. You are my trusted advisor who calls me on my bullshit, is literally in my base system prompt.
That's good alpha too. I feel like we should talk about that at some point, how to get that into our base system prompts.
Yeah, I can give people a pretty good prompts for that. Bridget on my team gave me an amazing prompt for that, so that your AI doesn't, just
we all want the
you.
pushback. We want the AI to be realistic, not just nepotistic or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's what you do. You go 5 whys deep. You can do this yourself. You can do this with a clanker. You can do this with a therapist. You can do this with a friend who you say, like, this is your job and this is what you're going to help me do. But most people should do this alone. It's an introspective exercise. Mark Andreessen is wrong. You should introspect. And
wait, what? Okay, I saw that in our Discord too. That Mark Andreessen having no introspection, but I didn't understand what everyone was talking about. I didn't catch this one. What's going on?
He was in a pod. I mean, the guy's very smart, but he has a certain way of living, and certain people would characterize that as, I don't know, I'm not going to put a label on it, but he was just like, fuck introspection, forward only.
Dude, that is so anti-alfalfa.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't care what you feel. No, actually, what he said was, this is a modern phenomenon. He said nobody in history introspected. I mean,
okay.
I disagree.
No, I disagree too, but I sort of get what he's alluding to. He's
saying this is a Freudian thing. This is a 20th century phenomenon.
Well, he's also talking to a younger generation that is putting up numbers that we've never seen before in depression and suicide and things that you wouldn't expect.
Excessive rumination leads to more depression. 100%. Excessive rumination.
I think he's probably just,
that's what he's addressing. I agree.
I don't need to steel man Mark Andreessen, but I think what I'm probably going to think that his aim is he's probably talking about what you're saying too. It's like if you're going to like stack, if you're going to like introspectively just stack trauma on top of yourself over and over again, that's not useful.
And we live in this like time where like new media, like it doesn't reward you. Like we're talking about this because he wasn't nuanced.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the point you're driving at is that nuance is sort of lost in the shuffle of the algorithm.
Nuance doesn't do shit,
man. Nuance leaves you at the bottom of the stack of the algorithm.
Nuance is our entire show. And
our entire thing is nuance.
Our entire show is nuance. And that doesn't hit because there's no way to put that in a one sentence.
Yeah, there's no 15-second TikTok for that. There's no appetite. There's no attention span for that. No. Everybody wants the get rich quick scheme, the fix my mental state scheme.
Yes or no, black or white. Should I ruminate or not? Should I introspect or not? I want everything binary. Not, a little introspection could do a mind, body, and soul good.
Yeah.
But not too much.
Right.
Like that's the answer.
Right.
The answer.
But don't stack.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what he said. He was like, no one did this shit. This is a modern phenomenon. And then he kind of, in my opinion, backtracked a little bit on Twitter where he was like, I stand by what I say, but what I actually am saying is like, no one was moaning. Well, hold on. Introspection and moaning. You're moving the goalposts. Moaning is complaining. Moaning is negativity. That is not introspection.
That's not introspection. Now we're getting into the nuance, sir.
So it is a nuanced take.
Damn, I'm so glad we have what we have, but I wish there was more of an appetite for this. I think there actually is. I actually think there is more of an appetite for this. I just don't think that it's easy to find. I think that people who look for this don't necessarily find like-minded individuals through the algorithm necessarily.
Look at this comment from Carby. Do you see it?
Carby. Okay, can you read that?
Something interesting I'm thinking about. Being in my 40s and a dad, I resonate so much with your growing up comments. I was also a parent in my 20s. Yeah, he had his kids young.
Young. I mean, a lot of people, I think you and I grew up, and I think a lot of our audience grew up in a time where it was like a hybrid time where there were still people having kids in 20s, but also people having kids closer to late 30s. So it was like, I don't know, it's almost like a weird hybrid. I think the further we go down, like the next generation, it's always going to be later.
Right. It seems like it.
It seems like it.
It depends on the sign of the times, but yeah. Anyway, let me give you the end of the framework.
Yeah.
You go 5 whys deep. That's step 4. Step 5, you ask a question. And the question is a filter. The question is, if this one thing resolved, how many of my other stressors, all the shit that you listed out, how many of them would shrink or disappear completely?
Oh, wait, say that one more time.
If this one thing resolved, how many of my other stressors would shrink or disappear completely?
I asked that. I asked for you to repeat it because I've heard Nick Urbani say something
it's like a big domino.
Yeah. He says this kind of thing when it comes to like goal setting and it comes to your big goals. He's like, what's the one thing that makes all these other goals obsolete?
Yeah. I think Nick as well got a lot of that from Tim Ferriss, where early internet days, it was like, that was one of his end of year life planning questions. I think that's where it came from. It was the questions Nick brought up that you ask yourself that cut through everything. By the way, that's introspection.
By the way, it's useful introspection.
By the way. So yes, if you got to a place where you identified something and you say, if I resolved this, does it make everything else irrelevant, basically? And the answer is yes, you got there. But if it doesn't actually affect everything else, you may need to revisit the clusters, work your way back up. And then lastly, the normal stress audit stops there, but I added another step, which is to turn the root cause into a lever, go from like insight into action. So take the root cause and convert it into a concrete, time-bound, structural change. Not a feeling, not a goal, I should do that more, but literally a system, a boundary, a decision that attacks the root directly.
Hell yeah. Okay, so in the interest of authenticity, was there one overwhelming thing that you identified that made all other trauma or stress obsolete?
Sure. Happy to share. It was interesting. Obviously, there were stressors across every life category, but the biggest cluster was time, personal time. And then when I went 5 layers deep, it was like, oh, this is actually pretty deep. This is like about identity. This is like about like life itself, like making time for myself, like being the best version of myself. Like it got pretty interesting. And where it landed, and I don't think I would have gotten there without the support of this conversational reaction with Claude.
Okay, so I mean,
the insight part, by the way, I genuinely don't think I would have gotten there alone.
I think you would have, but I think this is a very helpful tool as well. I think knowing you as well as I do, you are like a freedom optimizer, right? Like, is that?
Yeah.
I think that's accurate. But I think, this is now my GPT talking to you instead of the clanker. But I think like what I see, what I observe is that you are a freedom optimizer who is choosing to put your head down and grind as hard as you can to eventually give the freedoms that you desire. But in the meantime, that's going to be a struggle.
I think that's true. And I think that's completely okay. But I don't think that that should come at the cost of health, time with family. It can even affect your performance at work. Because, like, okay, this is the insight I had. I don't think what I just said makes sense until I say this. The insight I had is that the lack of personal time being the primary lever, the primary stressor, is causing everything else to kind of like not perform well. Because I'm not having the time to journal. I'm not having the time to read a book. I'm not having the time to exercise. I'm not having the time to feel good, to show up well in my relationship. I'm not, and the excuse is what you just said. Well, you know, I'm doing it because I got to work. 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 But I realized something with the help of Claude. It was like, no, you're lying to yourself, and you know it. Like, the reality is, you need 30 minutes, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. And then I went, no, where do I find it? Because the problem is the lack of time. And it was like, okay. So we ended up going really deep. It was like, tell me about your day. And I told it about my day, like start to end. This is what a normal day, and here's even what a weekend looks like. And I was like, okay, this is really easy. You try to get your personal time between the hours of 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. And you're fried by the time you do that. And you end up doom scrolling and reading about the Iran war and worrying more. You're not getting exercise. You're not fueling yourself. You're not meditating. You're not fucking journaling. You're just like, I should watch something, or I should, check the news or see what's going on. Like, that's not fueling you. What's going to fuel you is wake up at 6 a.m., 5:45, maybe even earlier. Start your day, have an hour to yourself, and stop fucking around before everybody wakes up. And then, of course, I went, oh no, it's so hard. I'm already waking up at 6:30. I can't push it another 30 minutes. So anyway, it got to this root that was true for me, and it ended up being like very, very true for me. And actually, it ended up being. It ended up realizing that it wasn't my wake up time that was the most important thing. It was my stop work time that was the most important thing. It was like, actually, the biggest domino is stop working at 6. Get home. Do dinner, do your thing, go to bed because you woke up at 6, but by 6, be done working. And if you do that and you do high quality work, everything else will go better. And I'm, 3 days into that.
And you feel good?
I mean, it's great.
Can I ask you, I'm going to like pivot it to myself, but
please.
Okay. Oh no, my headphones came out. I'm sorry. Mic check. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I can hear you too. Sorry. I got very excited and I ripped my headphones out.
Yeah.
So I think
I'm being very vulnerable here, but I'm maybe oversharing a little bit. But I'm curious, like if there's been a version of that for you. Maybe that's what you're going to say, but I'm also curious if you could add that, if there's ever been a version of that for you.
I think what I'm going to add to it is that I feel something similar, and what I've kind of identified in myself is maybe not exactly what you and Claude talked about, but I think what I've noticed is that as life goes on and age goes on, responsibilities increase, and I agree with you that like life gets better. I wouldn't trade any of this life for any other life. I'm very happy But what I am noticing is that I'm losing in this evolution, I'm losing parts of myself that I do truly enjoy, like little hobbies and little facets of life that are not like, they might sound trivial to somebody, but they're little parts of me that I don't actually want to lose. And it was just like an odd, I suppose oddly, we talked about this at depth in the sports channel, just because sports is something that's like so near and dear to me. But I was mentioning how in the next, I guess it's now in the next 12 hours, I have like multiple March Madness brackets. I have a fantasy baseball draft. I have like all these things that like I would like in my heyday, this would be best day ever. But in my current instantiation of life, I'm just like, can't do this. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I feel unprepared for any of this stuff. But these are things that I actually really love, like at a core. So for me to not do them, I think for an outside observer, they'd be like, yeah, whatever. Don't do your fucking baseball draft.
I've known you long enough to have been there when this was like a celebratory day for you.
Yeah, dude. This would be
this
best
is
day
like
ever.
Champagne and bagels, and you know we're like doing it. It's draft day, and like,
yeah, dude.
This is like a huge thing for you.
Yeah. So I think like everybody has their own.
That's interesting.
Their own version of self, and I think as you age and as responsibilities come on, as they do, you naturally have to reprioritize and you cut. But then I think this is sort of what you were saying too. It's like you need to maintain a sense of self as well. And I think that's what I'm trying to find the balance of. I don't think I've found it. I haven't found it. But I know that I need to think about it. And I think it will, if I find the right balance, it will probably help me in all endeavors.
We're talking about the same thing, dude.
Yeah.
We really are. I caught myself, I think last week I complained to you about something. And right after I did it, I thought about that study that we talked about on the pod. I was like, oh my God, I'm a fucking complainer. I'm wiring my brain the wrong way.
No, you're not.
No, but I was like, oh my God, I'm complaining. I was like, I made a joke about like how I don't have time. I don't have a sense of what am I outside of this pod? It's just work or family or show up to this pod and this is my social life. I mean, it really is, right?
It really is.
And I mean, it's funny. Like I don't have a social life outside of this.
Yeah. Honestly,
and now here I am, fucking stuck behind a screen with you.
Chat more because this is our social life.
Yeah, this is my Saturday night. You know, this is my Saturday night. So like I'm sending it. You know? No, but I said that, and it's true. But it's all how you say it, and it's all how you see it. And I realized I was like, okay, there's some work to do here. That's not good enough. That's a low bar. Like, that can be true, but I also deserve the best. And I'm capable of building my life the way that I want it to be. What if I want to change that story? That doesn't have to be my story. I'm going to change that story. I'm in complete control of that story.
I agree.
If anything, that's the only thing I fucking control. Like, if anybody in life is going to become a victim to their story, it's over. You know?
I completely agree.
And there are some logical components to it. Don't get me wrong. Like,
I think it's like, it's fair to accept that responsibilities increase over time. It's totally fair to accept
100%.
That. And there will be compromises and sacrifices along the way. I think that's totally fair. Ben Meadows, remember the live. He's back. He's here. Welcome, nice. Dude. Anyway. No, I think, I think we're all of us, you and I, but all of us are trying to find that balance in life where we can like be true to ourselves as individuals, but also be true to the lives we've built Some of us are fathers, some of us are husbands, some of us are running businesses, employees, whatever it may be. You have like many different versions of yourself. And it's about, I think it's not forgetting who you are at the core.
Yeah. We usually tuck this at the end of the podcast.
I really liked how this led off.
I think we went deep enough into it. That was good, dude. Thank you for entertaining that.
Nice, authentic sharing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You want to go into what's going on? I really would love the update on Nvidia GTC Keynote. Personally.
Okay, so before we get into that, I have just finished my my left-hand beverage. Can we give a shout out to our sponsor very quick?
Yes.
Okay.
And you
ZBiotics.
Yes.
Shout out to ZBiotics. This is the genetically engineered probiotic. This is the drink you drink before you drink.
Before you drink.
This beautiful product attacks a nasty toxin in your gut produced by alcohol called
acetaldehyde.
Acetaldehyde, and it's that toxin that makes you feel like crap in the morning. It's not necessarily dehydration. Mm-hmm. So you drink this an hour or two before you start drinking alcohol, and it allows you to get through with your day and your responsibilities tomorrow.
Wouldn't do a pod without it.
Wouldn't do a pod without it. Wouldn't do a wedding without it. Wouldn't do a 4th of July without it.
Yeah. I mean, if you are over the age of 25, it is your responsibility to have a ZBiotics before you drink.
I completely agree.
Like, there's no way you do life without it. No way.
Completely.
Not if you're a responsible adult.
Yeah. I mean, if you have responsibilities like what we're describing, I mean, you're gonna take whatever measure you can to make sure that you can like maintain those.
Yeah. Or you just never drink alcohol again.
Yeah, or you just never drink. And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's not for me, but that's fine.
Not for me. Yeah. That's your boat, dude. Where do people go? ZBiotics.com/alfalfa for 15% off, 30-day money back guarantee. If you don't like it, send it back. They'll take care of you. And make sure to use the code alfalfa.
Hell yeah. Thank you,
long-time sponsor and they're a partner at this stage. This is a partner. This is a partnership, not a sponsor. You know?
Zach Abbott, a friend, really. Okay.
Do you need to go fill up, or are you good?
I would love to fill up, but I have no means of doing that. I have like a sip left of my wine. Somebody, please.
Can you send for service?
Help.
Can you send for service? Is that possible?
Text my wife. Text my wife.
Text me.
She would love that.
I'll text her. You want to text? I'll text her.
Okay, so we were talking about Nvidia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me test something. Am I able to show a screen? Like, what?
Can you share some?
Like, what would that look like for me to just go like this right now? Like, what would happen? Oh my god! Oh Boom. My god!
Wait, what are you showing? You're showing a set of lungs.
Yeah. Am I? Do you have audio?
I'm hearing everything.
Oh my god!
Beat stronger.
This is what you spent the day watching?
This was 3 hours long. Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Welcome to the stage, Nvidia founder and CEO, Jensen Huang.
Jensen!
Oh boy.
Has he got the jacket?
Jensen.
Clutch.
Best salesman. Best salesman.
Welcome to GTC!
Yeah. Oh, GTC. I mean, he's up there. Mount Rushmore. Steve Jobs, though.
I just want to remind you, this is a tech conference.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he's taking all
these people lining up so early in the morning.
The same tips from him.
All of you in here, it's great to see you.
Yeah. Turtleneck becomes a leather jacket.
Yeah.
GTC, we're going to talk about technology. We're going to talk about platforms.
Okay, so
NVIDIA has 3 platforms.
Imagine if you Martied this.
You think that we mostly talk about one of them? It's related to CUDA-X. Our systems is another platform.
Okay.
Now we have a new platform called AI.
Just pause
all of them.
This is how Marty processes life. 2.5x.
I know. Imagine Marty downloaded this entire 3-hour conference in like 2 seconds.
And then he just went, AI is dumb.
But for those who aren't Marty, let me catch everybody up to speed on what was presented here, because I think there's cultural relevance. I think there's like investing relevance. I think these type of events actually matter, similar to how Steve Jobs used to get up in the turtleneck and everyone would watch the Apple Worldwide Developer Conference or whatever. This is it's a similar event, but it's even larger scale now because Nvidia's $4.5 trillion. It's it sort of represents the S&P 500 now. So what I saw in this event blew my brain wide open.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Okay.
You're not overselling me right now?
Dude, I'm not the type of guy to oversell. This blows my mind. Okay. And I'll tell you why it blows my mind. It blows my mind from a couple different verticals. One is Nvidia itself blows my mind. Another vertical is you would probably agree is that AI in general is blowing everybody's minds. If you look forward, how will AI transform the way that everybody works and operates? And I think if you just circle around those three things, the through line that I see is that everybody still underappreciates the amount of compute that is going to be desired.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay. So from the Nvidia, let me just start from the top. From the Nvidia,
are there some high pillar use cases that make that very self-evident that people don't register enough? Or is it just a matter of technologies yet to be created or use cases yet to be created that revolve around the desire and need for compute? Or is it just about the multiplication of agents across so many functions at the same time? Are we just not doing a good job of doing the math? Or are we just not doing a good job of being creative enough about the use cases?
I think it's a good question. I've thought about this myself. I think the answer lies in the fact that Nvidia is the best company ever created, but it doesn't sell candy bars to the consumer. The consumer never sees what Nvidia sells. Nvidia's customer is well capitalized. They're spending billions of dollars, and the consumer never knows what's going on with Nvidia. And Jensen's up here talking for 3 hours about stuff that they don't understand. I think that's the disconnect. And I think that's part of why this whole thing's going underappreciated. I'll give the headline. The main headline is that Jensen announced visibility into $1 trillion of revenue for Blackwell and Rubin chips through 2027. $1 trillion, and the market response, it was at 183 before GTC. It's at 180 now. The market yawned at $1 trillion of revenue backlog, and I'm blown away. I'm so blown away. First of all, we're talking for 3 hours here. They have so many products, but just with these two products, Blackwell and Rubin, they're showing you $1 trillion of revenue,
which is larger than the biggest company that ever existed a few years ago. Dude,
this is insane.
Yeah, I mean that is a correct statement, right?
Yeah, I mean we
only crossed the chasm of 1 trillion, I don't know, in the last decade.
Yeah, in the last decade, in terms of market cap, not talking about revenue.
This is revenue.
Yeah, this is revenue. And
wait, so this is even weirder.
Yeah, this is even weirder. And granted, he's talking about a fiscal year 2027, which actually spans over more than 12 months. So it's not like 1 year's revenue is $1 trillion, but even still, let's not try to split hairs here. This is incredible.
Mm-hmm. And that's the calculus that most people are just not doing. That's your point.
I think
the headline point, that if you just focused on that anecdote, alone. Like we're underappreciating.
Well, I think people are underappreciating the durability of this compute. So what I mean by that is, you got a lot of analysts who follow the biggest company in the world, right? So Gene Munster is like one of the predominant tech analysts, and he says that this event increased their revenue guidance from 30% growth to 39% growth, which is kind of like
insane.
it's kind of a whatever number if you're just like thinking about the numbers, 30% to 39%. But when you're talking about a $4.5 trillion business,
that's insane.
A $4.5 trillion business that's growing revenue at 39% year over year. Like, we consider Meta and Google to be growth companies, and they're growing at like 10%, which is also insane. But this is 4 times that.
Yeah. No, it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. Okay. So I think I was talking about different verticals in which I was like mind blown. I think the Nvidia vertical, I'm mind blown just because this company is continuing at their size to continue like pushing the envelope of what compute is able to do. And I think at some point you would think like, oh, well, Google's also playing in this, Amazon's playing this, they have the Trainium chips, they have the TPUs, but like Nvidia just dropped Rubin, which increases efficiency by 35x. And I think if you're an Anthropic, or if you're like a really big company, you're gonna want to use the best, and Nvidia just shit on everyone.
So that's I think that's my biggest question for you is like there's the CUDA. I think you've been talking about that in the Discord lately. Moat. There's the fact that Elon's getting into this game. There's the Google being in this game. What's your perspective as an investor on this? You're obviously very excited about what they presented, but like there's a lot of competition opening up.
Absolutely.
As well.
I mean, dude, as you know, okay, so let's just think of AI. This is also a Jensenism. He's described AI as a 5-layer cake. Okay, so at the bottom layer, you have energy. Energy powers chips. That's layer 2. Above chips, you have the infrastructure. That's like the data center. That's the networking, the interconnects. Above that, you have the models. And above that, you have the app layer. And that's where you live. You live in the app layer. What I think people are underestimating is that all of these layers are expanding faster than they realize. And I think it all is driven by the compute. So like what Nvidia is doing is pushing the envelope at like for the largest customers. But you know, there's a guy in our Discord who's building inference compute that's much more efficient. And some of this stuff will live on your edge devices. And that's true too. And I think what we're seeing is that like this compute is going to be needed across the entire spectrum, meaning there's going to be free tiers. There's going to be paying tiers. There's going to be more expensive up to like enterprise level tiers where people need different levels of compute. But the only thing that I see is that nothing slows this down. Nothing stops this train. And to one of your points before we even started talking, it's like you were mentioning how you were feeling overwhelmed by the geopolitical situation. And you know,
this is the main question I have for you when it comes to the exponential technology situation.
Yes. So we have war. We have war in Iran. We have
it's not slowing anything down.
We have high inflation. We have oil prices above $100 a barrel. We have all this shit. And in the meantime, Broadcom just announced that there is going to be 10 new gigawatts of data center built on their chips. At the same time that Nvidia announced $1 trillion of spend on their chips. Those two things are different silos.
They're different.
These are just going to proliferate at an astounding rate, and nothing stops this train.
Do you think we might live in a really weird world where things are just potentially dystopian on the one hand, but beyond the imagination of abundant on the other hand? And somehow we live in an abundant dystopian future?
Yeah. Well, I think the
Maybe I'm
dystopian
getting
part,
too philosophical about that, but
I was trying to save that convo for when we get
Cypher.
into the Matrix. Yeah. Because I do see that. But in the meantime, what I see is so Jensen talked for 3 hours, and a big part of his conversation was about something that like a pivot that happened in our lives a couple of months ago. OpenClaw.
Did you catch the Virgil van Dijk moment?
Yeah, I did. I was watching that live. Wait, hold on.
That's small he is. Virgil, this is like a 100-foot screen, dude.
Okay, so you are. This is what stood out to you. It's just Virgil.
I mean, I was just jumping around, but he's got FIFA going or something, right?
Okay, so yeah, I mean, they have a ton of products beyond just like their training and inference chips, which I think all represent upside. One of the things that he was most excited for is agentic compute, right? Like, so I don't think it's any surprise that a guy who's selling picks and shovels wants more diggers, right? And that's what agents represent. Yeah. They're going to be utilizing more and more compute. But I just don't think that people realize how big that slice of the pie is going to be. And if we think of Nvidia as just like training, I think you're missing the plot. If you think of Nvidia as training plus inference, I think you're missing the plot. I think what this company ends up being is an everything compute platform where like agents are dude, he had this, he probably did an hour on agentic open source compute, which I also want to talk about the open source component, but he's talking about how SaaS companies, like the death of software actually becomes agents as a service, which I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Agents will perform work for you so long as they have reliable data. So what you need is like structured data is what he calls it. So these are like the ground truth of AI. This is like the database where real data exists. Think about like your company's sales. Your company's sales data, where does that exist? It exists on some database, probably in a cloud. Maybe it's on Microsoft, maybe it's on Oracle, maybe it's on Snowflake, wherever it is.
Right.
Those companies end up becoming part of AI too. So they have their own moat. They become agentic AI's ground truth. And then agentic AI can then work for you and run reports on that and generate PDFs and generate PowerPoints or whatever. And that's
it's
unstructured
a database
data
that I run AI to do everything that software used to do. AI is going to do for me. Is that the main driving point?
I think so, but I think also not in a way that like kills the software companies, in a way that the software companies
no, it doesn't kill them. They're just better at. They become. It's unnecessary to develop a perfect UI UX experience.
Yeah, they become part of the app layer of AI, I suppose.
Right.
So I think, man, NVIDIA, to me, if I was just summarize what I was kind of rambling about, NVIDIA becomes not just training and inference for AI, it becomes involved in the compute that's required at the data surface level. Like at every part of compute, NVIDIA is going to be involved. And, you know, I think on a previous podcast, maybe the last one, I was like interested in Broadcom, who Yeah, Broadcom, who designs all the chips for the competitors of Nvidia. So that would be like Google's TPUs, Amazon's Trainium, etc. They all flow through Broadcom. I'm still bullish Broadcom, but they all lose to Nvidia.
Really?
Yeah. This is
insane. So what are the key ways in which your thesis has evolved?
Well, I think.
Are you sure you didn't get caught up in PR?
Well, he's a great salesman. He's absolutely a great salesman.
I mean, this is a moment for them. They do these things in order to do exactly like the desired outcome is exactly what you think and feel.
I agree.
But you're objective enough to evaluate things.
I won't even push back on that. What I'll say is that they all win. Like Google TPUs are going to proliferate. Amazon Trainium, proliferate. Nvidia, proliferate. And it's all going to accelerate from here. And we're expecting, like Wall Street is expecting this to slow down. We're expecting this to maybe grow, but at a decelerating rate. I think it grows at an accelerating rate. And I think it grows at an accelerating rate despite what's going on in Iran.
Situation.
Despite what
so
oil prices
you think if we have a situation where the entire world order is shifting, the Strait of Hormuz is up for grabs, like it's a defining battle of our entire generation. Ray Dalio is right. If America doesn't win this war, the dollar, the petrodollar, everything, the state of the Navy and our global police state changes. We withdraw. Iran becomes a superpower for the region under this fucking murderous regime, and we live in a new world, and everything changes. And you think, and then Israel rises up, and all these things happen. All these things happen. Let's say Jiang is right, Professor Jiang is right, and all these things happen, and we have nothing but surveillance state, loss of civil liberties. Constant wars, nonsense wars, Jen calls them nonsense wars. Just send your children to these wars on our behalf. All of this happens. And yet, at the same time, you think there's a train that just cannot stop losing speed and continues to produce and leads to abundance? Would you call it abundance? I call it abundance. Would you call it abundance? Are you just looking at it from a returns perspective? Are you looking at it like what it does for the world? Like, are you looking at it as like this creates incredible abundance and the surveillance state at the same time? Do these silos cross for you in any way? You see what I'm saying there with like,
yeah, I do.
Because the gains that occur over here are going to benefit the players over here that we also think are like susceptible to nefarious activities. What is the government going to do with this technology? What is Peloton? Not Peloton. What is a company called
Palantir?
Palantir. What is Peloton going to do? Yeah. What is Peloton going to do? I'm so glad I just called
Peloton. Wishes you would hop on once in a while.
Oh man. So Palantir. Yeah.
You
got real concerns there.
I understand what you're asking. I don't know the future. What I think is an inalienable truth is that the amount of compute that is desired, I think the amount of compute that's required is completely underestimated. And
I get that, but I'm really wondering if you genuinely believe that these things can coexist. And I think they do.
Meaning like
I'm curious if you
a future of abundance?
A future of abundance coexisting alongside a future of turbulence. The turbulence that you're describing, you're saying is mutually exclusive completely from this abundant future existing.
Absolutely.
There's no impact or there's no slowing this train down.
Well,
that's my question.
Yeah.
I was rambling, but that's my question.
Yeah, there could be an impact. Here's what I'll say. What I do best in the market is I identify the best thing to buy. I'm not the best at identifying the best time to buy it. what I've identified as the best things to buy is basically just like a list of names that are going to benefit from the proliferation of compute. And that includes all 5 layers of the 5-layer cake. I've had my best returns from the networking layer, but that's just for this moment. I think like right now, Nvidia, it has $1 trillion backlog of revenue. That's just for this moment. Like at some point, the app layer is going to make the most money. Like the 5-layer cake of AI is going to get insanely wealthy. Will there be bumps along the way? Of course there will be. Are the things that I'm identifying as being like good investments? Could a good investment at a reasonable price turn into a good investment at a cheap price? Absolutely. Could a good investment at a cheap price get even cheaper? Absolutely. I don't have a crystal ball on what the price action is going to do. What I follow is like what the industry is going to do, and I understand where we're going, business fundamentals. The amount of money that's going towards compute, I think, is insane beyond imagination, and it's accelerating, not slowing down.
Okay.
If I want to like, I just think you can just buy Nvidia. You can just buy Nvidia and walk away.
Would you take that level of concentration bet, or is it better to just kind of like create a little basket on?
I think it depends who you are. There's no right answer there. It depends who you are.
Yeah.
You want to make money, you want to not lose money. I don't think there's a right answer. For me, I mean, I'm going to be playing it. I'm going to be finicking. Like within that even stack of 5 layers between energy, chips, networking, models, apps. Like I'm going to be playing within that 5-layer stack along the way.
So it might be relevant. I don't know if you've read it. I don't know if you have thoughts on it. I hope you have. It'll be interesting. Did you see Ray Dalio's new essay?
No, but I've read everything leading up to this. So
the final battle.
Yeah, here we go.
It all comes down to who controls the Strait of Hormuz. The final battle. Did you see this video or this meme of like Americans learning geography only when we go to war? Like,
I think that's
like
true.
Americans become so good at geography when we go to war. They're like, Harg Island. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, Strait of Hormuz. Yeah. So, yeah, he basically goes into it, and he says,
so the United States will lose. That's number one.
Do you believe that, or did Jane get in your head?
Well, I'm just reading number one.
Where's number one? Oh, he's saying that's one of the, that's one. So one, he says, like, there's a few outcomes here. If the United States is judged to have lost the war, Iran is judged to win. Number two, if on the other hand, the Strait of Hormuz is left in the hands of Iranians to use as a weapon to threaten American allies, everyone will become hostage. Donald Trump will have perceived to pick a fight and lost, and U.S. allies in the region will be left with a huge problem, and Donald Trump will lose credibility. He obviously goes into each of these points. Number three, while there's talk of ending this war with an agreement, everyone knows that no agreement will actually resolve this war because agreements are worthless.
Yeah.
Number four, the direct and indirect effects of this final battle will ripple around the world, affecting trade flows, capital flows, and geopolitical developments to China, Russia, North Korea, Cuba, Ukraine, Europe, India, Japan. And to bring this to an end, I want to emphasize I'm not political, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, a lot of things are playing out according to the cycles that Ray Dalio described. I mean, do you think that the Strait of Hormuz situation is actually what he says it is? Is this the final battle? Have you thought about this much? If you haven't, it's fine. But
I don't know, man. This is not like where I focus my energy. I think what I know is that there's been a lot of geopolitical events throughout our lives, and the stock market does something and geopolitics does something. And oftentimes we try to attribute the movements of the stock market to the geopolitical events. What I see is great companies crushing it, and I see great companies trading at range lows. Typically, you want to buy those opportunities. Like when you get them, you don't get these opportunities very often. Mm-hmm. And every time, if you were to like ask yourself 2 years ago, would you buy this level? You'd be like, absolutely, I would. And then the time comes and you're just like, there's always a reason to rationalize your way out of buying when that time actually comes. And I think you buy the range lows here. And if we lose the range lows, then you get out. And it's probably over. It's probably over for a long time in a bad way.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to put it. It's like if the merry-go-round lets out, it's over for everybody who's in the game outside of like the very well-prepared survivalists who, are like pretty deep, probably more than most people into gold, silver, Bitcoin than most, because I imagine that's where things would flow. Which is what
I think
Ray Dalio
it would actually
has
be
prepared for with his all-weather portfolio.
Well, I think worse, like max pain is actually like stocks down, vol down, gold down, like everything actually goes down. And
there has to be some safe haven. What would it be?
Well, we saw a brief moment. We saw a brief moment like this in 2022, where it was like bonds, no shade.
So it's just the dollar itself.
I think the dollar is the shade. You would want the dollar. You would, for a very short time, want to be in bonds. I mean, I hate that, but you probably would.
It's like a cash is king era.
Yeah, it'd be a cash is king era. But that's what I'm trying to say is that this cannot be your base case assumption, and I think it's become so popularized almost to the point of being people's base case assumption that it won't even happen, because markets don't crash when everyone's prepared for it. Like I don't think it happens here.
Interesting. All right, I like it. Where do you want to go?
God bless everybody. Fuck.
Yeah.
Can we pivot to a conversation that we were alluding to that was like, does AI bring about a different future of abundance or not? And maybe like have that segue into our conversation about our boy Cypher?
Let's do it. We are so back. Right, we're back.
Yeah, we lost the stream for a second. We lost the stream.
So can I just give some feedback to Riverside? So I was in the share screen and it was like, stop.
Like stop sharing.
Yeah. And it just ended the stream with one click. Like, no. So I felt like I was in Aave with $50 million in a hot wallet. And I just lost $49 million is what happened. And there was no warning. And I was just like, permissionless, just do whatever you want to do. Like, I mean, we gave you a button.
It's not just crypto. It's not just crypto.
It's not just crypto.
But how bad is crypto? By the way?
Did you see my reaction to that?
Yeah, I think you were right.
You do?
Well, I think
I feel like I'm mostly unpopular with my crypto takes, but I think that's so dumb.
I think everyone can be right. Everyone can be right on this one. And what I mean by that is the purists are saying like, I want there to be a permissionless way for people to transact.
They're not wrong.
I think your point and Dan Simmons' point is well taken, where it's like, yeah, but if you're going to like transact and lose 99.9% of your wealth, then this thing will never become what you imagine it to.
No. Have fun out there with like your 3 friends
Yeah.
who want that, but everyone else, like, we want nothing to do with this.
Right. And this was like a point that I've stopped
Like,
driving
what are you
home because I got off
optimizing
crypto,
for?
but I was like driving this home 2 years ago where I was saying like, what you guys are talking about is the Coinstar machine at the front of the grocery store when there's an entire grocery store of shopping to be had, and you guys are all huddling around the Coinstar machine that nobody cares about. And
No one
I
cares.
think this is still true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously true now, but I think there was another take. Like Pat's take was that the front end UI UX stuff will be solved by the brokerage firms like Robinhood. That was a take that you had like 4 years ago or something. Like I agree.
I mean, the time that was then Kevin Kelly was right. Like
It's the
blockchain,
plumbing.
it's just blockchain, it's just plumbing, and so you never intended to solve any of it.
Right.
You just intended to build the technology and then have
Right.
Robinhood fucking funnel it.
Dude,
Like it just pisses me off. It's like the amount of money that flowed into this industry, the
particularly
amount of hopes and dreams.
let's talk about what you can do now.
dude.
Let's talk about what you can do now with like a fucking front end plugin on Claude.
Do anything.
And who can build like a front end design, but we can't do anything to help cryptards? Like this is
seriously.
I mean, I don't care. I don't care about crypto. I think you're digging your own grave if you think that like a user can just transact and lose money like that, and then it's like this is going to be mainstream
You're not
adopted.
a business. You're not a business. You're not a product. You're not a anything. If you allow somebody to transact that amount of money,
Okay, so
and don't make it abundantly clear. Like I understand. Like don't get me wrong. I'm not a hardcore crypto person like some are, and I'm probably some of the main most important ethos is probably beyond me. But I think I understand the core ethos like enough. And I'm imagining a world in which these core fundamental principles of permissionlessness are very important. And sovereignty is very important. And providing the infrastructure to do what you need to do in a new age, in a new financial system, in a new world. I feel like I get at least, 1% of that. And yet, I still think as the creator of that platform and protocol, you have a basic responsibility to make it abundantly clear to the fucking user the action they are about to take. Like, clearly this guy, I mean, yes, you can blame the guy for having $50 million on a hot wallet, but I don't know. Like, it's never going to get anywhere if you don't prepare for that scenario. That is who you're trying to bring onto the platform. That's your ideal customer. I don't even mean to go, because I don't even care that much either, to go this deep into this topic of crypto. But like, that's my point. It's like, so I think what's ultimately going to happen is Kevin Kelly's right. It's really cool tech. It gets funneled into Robinhood. David Hoffman and Ryan are interviewing Vlad right now and learning about exactly what Vlad's going to do. And that's what's going to work. And, stable coins are going to have a purpose and people are going to gamble. And that's what we're going to do with crypto. We're going to gamble. We're going to do
it's already
polymarket.
been co-opted.
It's done.
It's already been like, I think the initial ethos was like cypherpunk stuff. Bitcoin's been co-opted. It's part of Wall Street. The main use case that bulls are hoping for is that stablecoin transactions become a thing. We're talking about the US dollar still.
Yeah. I mean, are we moved on to like Zcash?
No, I don't think anyone is really doing that. Here's what I think. Like if I'm going to steel man it, which I will, because I actually still am a believer in crypto.
I still think there's a use case for anonymous private money.
I think there's a use case for a competitive alternative to the system. And that's what crypto is. And that's fine. I just don't think it's going to win. I don't think it's going to be bigger. I don't think it's going to be the future of finance. It's just going to be a competitive alternative for some people who are like on the fringes that can use.
Yeah, that's well put. That's well put. Alan Bryce has a question for you. I think it's a pretty good one, actually.
Might be time to update my X handle from crypto_CFA. Crypto CFA, man. Yeah, I launched that.
Wow.
Launched that handle a few years ago.
Well, what I like about your position in all of this is you were late in, first out. I love that. You were like apprehensive, but then you came in and then you're like, nah, dog shit. I'm out.
A lot of it is dog shit. I still actually do believe in it, to be honest. Like I actually believe in this idea that there should be a competitive alternative and that has immense value. I just don't think that most of it has value. I think it's mostly dog shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think
that's so interesting. I don't know if you know this, but this absolutely proves it, that when you start talking about something on your live stream, the transcript is being registered by bots, and bots show up as we're talking. Like there's a bot right now saying,
put it on the screen.
I'm not, because it's probably a scam. I don't want to lead people to a scam. It's saying like, this ticker might be the best buy you make today. Like that's incredible. Like how is that happening? Surveillance state, dude.
Yeah. Well, we're already there. We're already there, and more compute doesn't make it. It doesn't change the fact. We're already there. Anyway, let's pivot. Let's pivot to the. I've been looking forward to this next convo.
Me too.
I've been doing research. I've been like looking back. I've been looking back, man.
That is a nice piece of fucking steak, man. That is a fucking nice piece of steak.
Okay. Who is this man?
This is Cypher.
Cypher. Remind me, Cypher again?
Cypher plays Judas in the Jesus story of The Matrix.
In the movie The Matrix.
Yeah.
This guy. The guy who eats his steak.
But, if you put the Judas part aside and you look at it in 2026, Cypher was tired of eating gray slop, running from the machines, monitoring the situation, wearing tattered clothes, stinking like oil. He wanted to be back in the Matrix, ignorant, retard maxed, comfy, happy. Did he have the right idea that not everybody needs to be miserable in Zion, monitoring the situation, and that the Matrix is actually a comfortable place for many people and a better existence?
What a question.
This is one of the most profound things I've seen on the internet lately.
I agree. And I would like to reiterate that I think The Matrix still has proven itself to be a documentary.
Mm-hmm. Incredible.
Okay.
Incredible story.
So Matrix is a true story. It's sent back in time to tell us about our own future, where the robots, we build the robots, but then the robots take over, and then the robots fight back, and the robots win and make us little. They send all humans into little pods of goo, and we live our lives in pods of goo inside a simulation called the Matrix.
Mm-hmm. They need us for energy. We're nothing more than like meat sacks. We're just the meat sacks.
Yeah, I feel like, spoiler alert, was not necessary like 30 years later. Okay, so going further, there's this guy, Neo, who is chosen to fight back against the machines. He wakes up, he realizes that base reality is a bunch of humans in pools of goo, and he wakes up and fights back against the machines and against the Matrix. But Cypher says, no, Neo, let's just stay here in the Matrix. Okay.
Should we play the clip?
Do you have it?
I need a refresher.
I mean, I think this completely...
this is the benefit of like what we're doing right now.
I feel like this copyrighted material just takes down our entire video, but...
No, I think we're going to survive, right? Like, I think, does it, I can't play that? Let's see what happens. So,
God, look at that steak, by the way.
yeah, it's a hell of a steak.
Do we have a deal, Mr. Reagan?
You know, I know this steak doesn't exist. I know that when I put it in my mouth, the matrix is telling my brain that it is juicy and delicious. After 9 years, you know what I realized? Ignorance is bliss.
Dude, this movie is so fucking profound. I can't
feel
believe
like-
how profound this movie is. It's
I want to hear your
such a
take.
big deal. It's such a big deal.
I want to
movie.
hear your take, but I
Oh.
have a take on that last statement that he made.
Yeah.
I don't think that he's actually saying ignorance is bliss. He's
What
completely
does he say?
he's completely knowledgeable about the situation. I think if somebody didn't know at all, and then they'd be like, "It's cool. I'm just eating steak." He knows, and he's choosing. He's choosing the bliss. It's not ignorance. It's understanding the whole scope of knowledge and being like, "No, I just choose this." It's not ignorance,
It's different than ignorance.
right?
It's a conscious choice that he's making. And you're alluding to the person that's torn between, oh my God, dude, our fucking chat is just crypto scams now.
Dude, how did we get invaded by World
No,
Liberty Financial?
I told you Google/YouTube is listening. It's incredible. It's just nothing but crypto slop. So fucking crypto, man. Fucking crypto. So what you're saying is there's a difference between the true ignorance and the bliss that comes with that of no thank you. I'm not going to take the pill and I'm not going to check what is behind the veil versus the version that he has experienced where he's aware of everything that is in reality and yet chooses the matrix. And would you say that most of us, you, me, the people listening in this community are in that kind of two worlds version where we have to make a decision soon about, like, is this what you're thinking about? Is this, because I'm thinking about this.
Well, here's what I'm going to ask you is, like, we're obviously going to draw parallels to modern life here, like, but in what realms are you feeling like you might be choosing between the red pill or the blue pill? Like, in what verticals of our reality? And I have a few.
Do you want to get right now?
Well, I have a few. Just off the top of mind. Okay, so this is something that I've personally gotten backlash for on our podcast is like politics, right? So on politics, I've taken this sort of route where I'm saying, like, I just don't want to devote my energy and define my identity through this vertical. And some people are calling me like, well, you're just choosing ignorance is bliss. And I'm saying, just like Cypher, I'm like, it's not ignorance. I will stay knowledgeable and I will understand all things at play, but also I will choose to take the blue pill on this one, meaning, like, I don't want to fight that battle with you guys. I don't want to argue with internet strangers. I'm just choosing the blue pill on that vertical, but I have several others too, but that's one.
You want a reaction to that, or?
Well, I'm just wondering I'm also wondering if this is like the lane that you were thinking about taking this conversation. Like,
I want to go on an adventure.
Well, I was taking it on a lane where it's like, how do we apply this to modern life? And then I was going to take it on a path of how do we apply this to a future that I envision as well.
I think when it comes to modern life, we're way closer to needing to make the decision than we realize.
Okay. So in what sense are you feeling like you're being faced with red or blue pill? Like in what aspects of life?
Honestly, constantly.
Yeah. I do think there are
I
many.
think I'm being faced with it constantly. And wow, yeah. I mean, I don't get a chance to think about this much, so this is like an outlet. I think that the pace at which things are unfolding and the number of different stories that are revealing themselves and the choices that we as human beings have to make about what those stories mean is happening so rapidly and is quite important to the point where I'm noticing the people around me are either like dropping in and embracing truth. You know, I'll call it truth. Let's just say they're leaving the matrix and they're ready to let go of like the stories of the way things are told to them, and instead maybe like peer beneath or behind the veil and say there's more to this.
Okay. Well, I think you're.
And once
it
you
sounds
start
like
doing
you're talking
that,
about. It sounds like you're talking about politics because that's like what. First
it's
came to
not
mind.
just politics,
But I think there's also a clear red or blue pill as it pertains to AI. Like you either lean into AI and you become a user of that, or you shun it and you become a Luddite and you take that approach. That's another vertical.
yeah, that could be a whole nother. Yeah, I think that's an interesting way to look at that. I think that like with AI specifically, it's not so much like choice of embracing it versus not, as it is like, what's the truth about what this actually means? What is it doing to me? What's unfolding? Am I living in a simulation or not? I think people are asking really deep questions lately. Like it's actually deeper than just like, should I use AI or not? I think it's like, am I living in a simulation? Are we about to create a simulation?
Of course,
What does this mean?
Create a simulation. Yeah.
And if we're about to create a simulation, then am I living in base reality? Am I not living in base reality?
Who knows?
Is the war about to go through a holy war? Like that's the politics side of it. Are we about to enter an exponential age in which I lose sense? Like, here's where I think it starts to get wonky, like really, really wonky, and where I think about red pill, blue pill. Are we about to enter an era and an age in which I have it's not just The Matrix to me that is a documentary. It's Inception. I think that's a documentary. I think that's a really important one that people underemphasize. Are you about to enter an age in which you have a choice to live a long, long time, forever? And if you do so, will you lose sense of base reality? Like,
Okay, I like this.
I
too.
genuinely think that these are the types of things that you are going to need to decide in the next, I don't know, 10 years.
Let me
20
walk you
years?
there. Let me walk you there because I think there's going to be steps before we get there, and I think the steps are this: like in today's moment, I don't think the majority of people are questioning whether they're in base reality, but I do think that it's
Right.
becoming more common that the soccer moms are wondering, is it Israel's incentive that we're in Iran? What's going on with Epstein?
Yeah,
I think
those are pills too. Yeah, For sure.
Agree. So I think there's steps here, and I think there's many steps and many different.
I went to where my
I want to get there.
Yeah,
but I want to take the steps to get there. I think for now, on the politics side, we're taking those baby steps. I think on the AI side, I mentioned we're taking those baby steps. I think there's baby steps in many different verticals, and we don't need to name an exhaustive list of all of them. But I think
it's like who runs the world, and why are we going to war, and are we covering up? Why are we talking about aliens? Are there really aliens? Are there not really aliens?
Good one.
Is Epstein actually did he actually was he a Mossad agent or partner or friend? Is everyone that basically ever was anybody susceptible to having been involved with this guy? All these things are
you start to question everything. And I think there's even baby steps before you get there. And one that I thought of that you may or may not agree with this, but one that I thought of was just in the finance and investing world, we're taught to contribute to our 401ks and that the stock market just goes up and everybody just does it. But then when everybody's asking questions what's going on with the US government debt? Is that sustainable? What's going to happen with the dollar as the reserve currency? These are becoming more and more blue pill questions where people are should I just get the fuck out of this? I think it's true in many verticals is what I'm saying. And finance is another.
Yes.
And these are all baby steps.
Great example. Oh man, it's does it scare you? Or are you just this is inevitable? This is the fourth turning. This is the cycles. This is what happens. I'm not the first to go through this. It's just my version of this. Because it's very disorienting when you combine it with the exponential technology age that we live in.
It doesn't scare me. Right. I feel like I'm Cypher. I'll take the blue.
Okay. So how does that work? How can you be in this and say what are you doing? Walk me through that. Are you just being okay, I'm watching all this and I like my family, I like my steak, and I like my tribe, and that's all that matters. And
I mean, if you're going to TLDR it, that's probably exactly right. I think what I ask myself is, to what degree does it serve me to pursue more and more truth or reality? And what I mean by that is that it's subjective. There's no right answer to that. It's to what degree does it serve me? And my answer could be different than yours. And somebody might want more truth than me. I might want just enough to make the decisions that I can be in control of, which is basically my barometer. I want to know what I need to know to make the decisions that I can make on the things that I can control. And everything beyond that, any energy beyond that is superfluous to me. So I end up becoming blue pilled in a lot of ways.
Wow.
But
modern, you're
I'm a Cypher.
You're a modern day. No, there's wisdom in there too, though. It's not just ignorance. There's a lot of wisdom in that, man.
Well, Cypher wasn't ignorant either. Cypher knew what was going on.
Cypher knew. Cypher chose a different path. And the story focuses a lot on the betrayal. The betrayal to Jesus, aka Keanu Reeves, aka Neo. But it's not about that. It's an individual decision. And you're saying, no matter the complexity, a person has to make a choice about the level of knowledge that they need to be happy. Okay, what's the North Star?
Well, okay, so I have my own North Star, but I think if we want to go into Cypher's decision more, I think there's something really nuanced that is never talked about, which is something that
I would love this.
Something that I don't even remember the exact quote, but it's something that he mentioned that was so what if I follow you, Morpheus? If I follow Morpheus, then I'm just following orders from this guy in fucking shittier environment. So for him, the question is, I'm going to have an overlord of machines and I'm in a pool of goo. Or on this other side, I got an overlord named Morpheus who tells me everything I fucking do in this like shitty environment. I think he's actually super pragmatic. And that's how I envision myself. I tend to act on my own self-interest. I have other ideals, but like mostly I'm trying to do what's best for myself, my family, my loved ones, my health, my wealth. It's not that complicated.
That's great. You're right. I remember that scene. He's like, this is obviously the more pragmatic choice. It's the same situation.
For him. I also don't see myself as Neo, meaning like I'm not going to tear down the powers that be in wherever they are, Israel, the Vatican, who cares? Like, I don't even care. That's just not my journey.
Mm. And why do you think so many people are caught up in that journey of truth seeking? And do you think there's virtue in that?
Yeah, I'm glad that we're all searching for truth. So am I. I'm also looking for truth. We have this podcast where we look for truth. Mm-hmm. We're talking about it right now. I, of course, look for it, but I put my own guardrails on it because I don't want to lose what's more of a priority to me. And it's subjective. It's to me. What I prioritize is what I mentioned.
So do you think this hybrid approach is possible? It seems like you're living it.
Well, I think,
like for example, like we talked on Alfalfa After Dark, which doesn't get recorded, but we'll give a snippet of it. 2 weeks ago, we got deep into the Epstein stuff.
Yeah. After Dark.
We talked about After Dark. And we talked about how our opinion on this whole thing is completely changed.
Definitely.
Like we're looking at the world in a completely new way that we didn't expect to. A month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Yep.
There's a lot of like balancing the opposites with that. Like your whole worldview has changed. Like you said you now would say there's a high probability that there's groups of people that control the world beyond the world that you see today. Yeah. And that things are way more complex than you ever imagined.
Definitely. Yeah. I think that's a good synopsis of what we talked about. That's exactly how I feel. I don't know the truth. What I have come to accept is that my priors were probably wrong. And that there's a much higher probability that I don't know what the fuck's going on is where I stand. And let me just finish this thought is that, no matter what, I still run it through my filter. My filter is subjective. My filter that serves me. It's like, okay, so what am I going to do with this? And how am I going to use this to get my desired outcome? Which, we've talked about on many podcasts. You have goals. You have like, you envision what you want out of life. And like all that stuff, all these externalities still come through that filter, don't they? Don't they for you?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they do. They have to. That's only natural. That's like the world coming through who you are as a human being. Like that's the operating system for sure. But it was interesting because just to go into it a little bit, it was like I think all of us had like this actual evolution of our thinking where if you listen to Alfalfa episodes, even where we talked about on Alfalfa, not even After Dark, like we've been pretty like, come on, like there's no cabal.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what is this cabal talk? To like, hey man, like I think I think there's some shit going on. Like I think there's some real power players involved here.
Dude, to hear
being
Nick admit
moved.
that was like
That was mind blowing to me. That was
earth-shattering.
mind blowing. That was Nick is the biggest, most pragmatic, most dismissive of any sort of thing like that I've ever seen. Like of all of my friends, Nick is like at that extreme. And he shifted to like, yeah. And I remember I paused. I was like, whoa, what are you saying? What I think you're saying? And he was like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's the more probabilistic scenario now, that there's likely powers beyond the powers that I'm, given privilege to being aware of or access to that run shit. And then once you start to go down that path and realize that, it's like, what does the world look like? And what are the incentives and what pulls them? What motivates them,
Well, I actually want to pull a different thread too, which is like, let's say that you are a red pillar, which I think in our community, we have like a higher concentration of red pillars than you would find in like a random sampling, which I'm proud of. I think we've all learned a lot from these red pillars. And I guess the question I would ask is like, what do you do with that though? Like, what's the next move? So like, are you Neo? You going to tear it all down? Like,
no, I think
what are you going to do with that?
Though, I think the idea is like sovereignty. I think the idea is awareness, sovereignty, security, protection of the self. I think the main reason most people want to take the red pill is because they obviously are making a choice and saying that world that I would be living in if I was ignorant is not worth it. It comes at a cost, and the cost is greater than like, the cost is too great. I'd rather be
the
truthful.
The true measure of sovereignty and individuality is probably like more in your ability to not have to care. Meaning, like, do you have the means to just exit? If you can get yourself into a situation where you can just
not have
be
to
away
care
from
at all, or not have to care because you didn't play the game, like the blue pill.
I think if you can, I suppose this is my own projection, right? My own projection is like, if you can get you and your loved ones well situated enough within the confines of the rules as they're stated, then you sort of don't have to play by the rules anymore.
Yeah. Short window for that.
Maybe. But I mean, what's the alternative? The alternative is you're going to fight. You're going to fight, and that fight's going to be hard because in reality, there's no Neo that can like jump 1,000 feet high and just punch a hole through the earth. I don't
know, man. It depends how deep into the stuff you go. People are like, the Antichrist is coming. Jesus is coming back. The third temple is being built. The fucking mosque, Al-Aqsa, what is that called? Al-Aqsa in Jerusalem is about to get destroyed. That's going to cause a holy war. Like, dude, shit's like very matrixy.
I agree. I understand that, but I'm also like objective enough to realize that we're still talking about people and people's desires. People's desires are that they want to tear down a mosque or they want to bring back the third Messiah. And I'm just like, cool. Like you're just people and that's your desire. It's not my desire. And you're going to go fight for that. I'm probably going to fight for my health and my wealth. And we're just going to go in different directions. I'm not going to fight.
And you can coexist as long as there isn't an existential event that impacts you. So the reason it starts to become necessary to do something is because it becomes existential as a risk.
Yeah.
Like you are arguing for the idea that I can live in a safe enough environment and bubble that I'm not affected by the existential. And the argument by I know we use Marty a lot, but Marty to me is not a person. He's an idea.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like a meme. The Marty version of this is like, you don't have a choice, EJ. Like, this is coming for you.
Yeah.
And there are many people that think that they are safe, but it's coming for everybody. It's not just coming to the big cities. Like, I mean, if you go deep into what Marty is saying, it's like it's coming to a small town near you.
Okay, and what I would say as like an objectivist dude is like, all you can do then is prepare yourself in the best way possible for that outcome.
Like being a fucking emergency specialist?
Sure. Like whatever you're deeming the future to be, prepare yourself for that future. And that's the best you can do. If that's the best you can do, then don't worry about it anymore. Do the best you can do. What else can you do? What are you going to do? Worry about it the rest of your life? Just do the best you can do to prepare yourself for that eventuality, whatever you deem the eventuality. And then I just choose not to worry about it anymore.
That's good.
I don't know. I don't know if it's good. It's just how I think of things.
No. It's very, I would say it's definitely wise. It's definitely wise. I think a better word for it is healthy. How about that? It's healthy.
Yeah. It's like playing the cards as best you can. Like, you're dealt the cards. We're all. I think
you were born with an ability to look at life in a healthy way and to play the cards well and to focus on the good things. And that is carrying you forward into a life where you just continue to look at things in a healthy way. And that's the most important thing.
That's my superpower, is that I'm going to try to play the cards the best I can. But more so than that, I'm going to try to have fucking fun with the guys that I'm playing cards with. And that's the main thing.
That I fucking love that. That's awesome. Dude, it's really weird to be 45 minutes away.
I don't like it. I miss you.
I miss you. Should we go have a beer?
I would not be approved. That would be non-approved behavior.
Wait, really? Are you locked in? It's just pod and then back to duty?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Wednesdays are sacrilegious.
I'm home.
No. Wednesdays are, you just got to be like, I don't exist on Wednesdays. That's the protocol.
Nice. Sounds very nice.
All right, man. Anything else you wanted to hit?
No, I think that's pretty cool.
Cypher talk.
Yeah, a lot of doom and gloom in this chat.
Is it? Yeah. Western society is nothing but Sodom and Gomorrah. Oh my God.
I hope not, man. I hope not.
I just want to cut back to Cypher. Such a good. I love it.
I want to see if there's anybody in our YouTube chat that's like dropping bangers.
It's so interesting to be on Riverside. This is a very new experience for me. That's great.
Okay, so More Money says we're living in a society where a handful of people have all the power and control of what we do in our lives. And I think you got to be careful of a statement like that, because I think we are living in a society where a handful of people have a lot of power, but they don't have control of what you do in your lives necessarily.
Ooh.
Do you agree with that?
No, I love that you're pointing out that nuance. What we do, I mean, there are concerns. There are real concerns about the people that like go deep into this, that like we won't have control one day. We'll have social currency. We'll be told where we can go, where we can travel, how far we can go. But those are just dystopian stories. Right now, we absolutely have control. If you live in the United States of America, if you live in a Western country, if you live in a democratic country, if you live in like even some monarchist countries, like, I mean, most people like still have some level of control with what they do in their lives. And I think, to your point, that's a dangerous story to tell. In Iran, you don't. You don't have control in Iran.
Less control. I love the way you're able to like communicate things and narrate things, because I think you just did a great job, and you always do. But I just think it's important that we try to remain objective. And by objective, what I really mean is optimistic, because I always am. But I think there's always a silver lining. And in this particular case, you don't have to look that hard to find the silver linings. Like, life is very good, from my opinion. And I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance, by the way, to talk about the big part about Cypher that I wanted to get to, which is the future. Can we keep going? Do you mind?
No. Are you
okay?
Kidding me? This
so,
is what I'm here for. As
I was thinking about Cypher, I was thinking about all these verticals in which it applies to our lives currently. But I was actually thinking about a future that's not too distant, right? So imagine if this K-shaped economy continues in the way that's going, where the haves end up having a lot more and the have-nots end up having very little, okay, and just continuation on that front. And then imagine on the tech side, we have continuation where compute goes out of control, and we have the ability to create worlds through a computer chip or whatever. And I imagine that the people who are at the lower part of the K, who aren't enjoying base reality so much, would imagine they would like put on this visor and they would enter a reality that they enjoy much more. Okay. So they're here now and they're in this reality. And would I begrudge somebody for taking the blue pill and living here? And my answer to that is I would not begrudge. I would be okay with somebody making that decision.
Damn, I love where you just took that. Holy shit. Love it. So the world becomes more and more and more bifurcated.
Yeah.
Technology exponentially improves and creates abundance, but only for this lane, and everyone else suffers. And this lane, this cohort, this half, I don't know what you're thinking, this quintile, this whatever, suffers. And they choose to opt out by opting into a virtual world.
Yeah, like a metaverse as we had once dreamed, like an alternate reality in which you can create whatever you desire.
And your question is, would I, should I, could I dare to shun them?
Right, because that's essentially the choice that Cypher was making. And in my opinion, if somebody chooses that and it's better for them, then I say go for it. And it really touches on like a deeper philosophical question, I think, which is like, if your experience, the reality that you experience, what makes one real and another one not? If you're experiencing a reality here instead of here, and we don't even know if this is base, this might be sim.
We can't prove it.
So then why would you begrudge somebody for living in the visor? Let them.
Wow,
cool.
Dude, that's so fucking well put. The thing that just nailed that is your argument that you cannot judge another for, dude, it's like Ready Player One and Inception and like fucking Socrates at the same time. This is good fucking shit. This is really good shit. It's like you can't actually judge another for choosing what level of life they want to play at, because at the end of the day, you can't prove that you're in base reality, obviously, right? Like you can't.
Who could? Yeah, you can't.
Who could? You can't prove that. So it's a choice that we all make, and it's a projection of like superiority that others place upon another. Like anybody who is willing to say like, how dare you not pursue a more noble truth is actually just being incredibly judgmental and saying they have some sort of claim to superior knowledge that the other does not, but the other might make the same claim. And the dog can't find its tail. Like it's an endless loop of chicken or egg, dude. That's just really interesting. That's really interesting.
But I think
the reason I find it so interesting is because I genuinely believe these are the types of questions we're going to be faced with very soon.
I think it's going to happen sooner than we believe. It's going to happen soon, where we're faced with these discussions, and I think we're going to be faced with like harsh realities.
Do you think that means that people start to separate into alternate realities?
Yeah, and I think we're going to have like weird discussions on how do we take care of these people who live in realm 2, 3, 5, choosingly. And
I don't think so, because I think that we'll create societies within these layers. Like there's going to be like full functioning base 1 level people, base 2 level people, level 3 level people.
Could be.
Like I do. I think we're already starting to see that, where it's just so volatile and like such different paradox realities that we live in, that we get to a point where like there's a functioning governing body for these people, you know?
Right. And
like, why not? Because that's what happens, right? You're already seeing that. You're already seeing like people attach to like beliefs and ideologies to a level that you wouldn't think would be possible. Like, how are we so broken apart?
Okay, do you think you would,
or is this just the preamble to the unification?
Oh, I don't think it's going to be unification. I think it's going to be a stratification immensely. And I'm wondering if there's not going to be a lot of turmoil around the idea that if somebody is choosing to live in dream level 1 instead of base reality, I'm going to call this base reality, there's going to be resources required to like still take care of their meat shell in base reality.
Meet family, meet everything.
How about just like powering their visor contraption? You know, like there's just going to be resources expended to take care of these people in base reality, even though they're living in dream 1, dream 2, whatever. And I think there's going to be some vitriol, some backlash on like, well, these people aren't providing any.
But that's no different than like blue pill, red pill, Matrix versus, you know, what is that? Zion. There's no difference.
Right.
It's a feedback loop of energy and production and governance. They're codependent. But that assumes 2 realities. There's not going to be 2 realities.
There'll be many, in my opinion.
Many. Me too. And you know what the most exciting part of all of this is I don't know why, but I've always had this like, it's weird to say it out loud, honestly. And I think I've said it on the pod before, but if not, like I believe you will, we will experience this. Like I think it's a real thing, and it's
soon.
And I think that the one thing I think that people need to watch out for is like disillusion of self.
Oh, definitely.
You know, like there's going to be a real problem there.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're already feeling it. The young generation's feeling it now, and we haven't even hit these inflection points.
Like I think you're going to have to make the decision that the character that Leonardo DiCaprio plays at the end of Inception might be the most important decision you make in your life.
Are you talking about when he's trying to determine whether or not he's in base reality? Yeah.
When he decides, when he spins his
That little dreidel.
weight and he decides that those kids outside are his kids and they're real or not, and that he made it back or not. Like, I think there's a new Socrates of our age, a new Jesus, a new whatever, that is going to write and teach heavily about this topic. I think about that a lot.
I think it could be you, bro. You should just start writing.
I am talking about it, but that's not me. It's not me. It's something I care about. And I just want people to be ready. Genuinely. Like, I really do. I think it's an important thing that people need to be ready for. You know?
Amen. Well, it's a fun journey, man. Good.
Yeah. I don't know how you and I get so weird and philosophical, but it just happens. It's very weird and philosophical.
I know. I can't believe we talked about Nvidia before that. I hate it.
That's so weird. That's so weird. Like, how did we go from that to this? But you know what? It's who we are. Like, what's the problem? That's who we are.
It's authentic.
Authentic. All right. That was super long. Super good. If anything, I enjoyed catching up with you, bro.
Likewise.
So should we go hang out or?
Well, thanks everyone for chatting along and joining in. And
yeah, Reborn says GTA 6 in real life.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So we got one more episode next week, like this.
Do we?
You and I. And,
Nick's out again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this.
We're gonna get weirder.
We're gonna get weirder. All right. Good shit. We'll plan even more. It'll be a great episode. We actually just to tease it. Can we tease it? We through this technology are able to bring audience members to participate.
God, yeah.
Can I? Is that okay?
Yeah, let's fucking send it.
So, yeah, thank you. So it's really simple. We're going to drop a link in our Discord. It's going to bring you directly into this modal that we're in inside of, Riverside or whatever. And it allows us to be able to talk to you, not just chat, but voice. And so you don't have to show your face. You don't have to tell us your name. But there's many of you out there in our community. There's many of you out there that we don't even know on that level, but we'd love to talk to you. We believe, like, genuinely, that this pod is more of a community than a pod. And so we don't know everything. We want to hear your opinions. We want you to participate in the conversation. And we want this to be a big thing that we do in general. We've talked about this for a long time, and we're finally there. That's my point. We've said we want to bring the community in, and next week is when we think we'll be ready to bring the community into the conversation.
Live call-ins from the audience.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I mean, I don't know. I mean, actually, we have an incredible retention graph. In my life, I haven't seen a retention graph like what this podcast has for
Donald Trump.
Dude, it's like 85, 90%.
You've never seen a retention graph.
I've never seen. But So I don't know how many people percentage-wise got to the end of this. My guess is, according to the graph, 85%. But if you did, please.
Do you envision having any rules and regs for these call-ins? Like, are they just going to stay on the topic we're on? Are we just going to follow their topics?
Well, that part, I think, you got to join the topic. You can take it off graph a little bit, but we might boot you. You might get booted.
We'll play it by ear. It's V1.
Yeah, it's V1. All right, I got to pee. All right, dude. Good to see you.
Good chat, bud.
Peace out, everybody. Have a good night.
Adios.